everybody, it's Gypsy, and welcome to my multi-dimensional life. This is where I talk about the strange and weird things that have happened throughout my life. And, you know, I would like to start discussing others' experiences too. I don't know, we'll see. I'm obsessed right here because finally I have a strand turning just here, right? Um, I was just sitting here waiting. Um, I didn't want to start the video. I've been sitting out here. Wow, I had visitors. It looks like they're gone. Mr. and Mrs. Mallard ducks on the pond here, and I was just sitting here watching. It was so great. I did a short. Um, if you want to see it, it's gorgeous. You're just so beautiful. Um, so go to my channel, go to my shorts. It's the first short on there, and it's really great. So today I have been putting off. Sorry, I gotta get my game. I've been putting off talking about this one. I always have a hard time talking about it. The main reason is, well, to me, it was really weird, but my memory of it is so, I guess, spotty. It's like I remember bits and pieces of it. I've always wanted to go to a hypnotist to find out more about this, what happened this day, but I can't find anyone. In my area, the only hypnotist you can find is your conventional psychiatrists who are, going to hypnotize you into conforming or whatever it is they do. So that's why I have trouble. It's going to be very short because I really just don't remember it. But anyways, it is about um, an alien abduction. I experienced, I don't know, I want to say it was around 1979 or 1980. And I was walking home from the school bus. And I always took the same way home from the school bus every day. How old I was, let's see. I was about 15 or 16, I guess. And so, walking home, a regular path. And all of a sudden, I got this urge to look up in the sky. And so I look off to my left and up, like kind of like this way. And I see this like dot in the sky. And it's like coming down and getting closer to me. And as it's getting closer, it's looking larger and taking shape. And it looked like a typical, UFO. And I'm going, that cannot be what I think it is. I remember having the thought. So I don't know I can't remember if I stopped and looked or what. I didn't run. I was very calm about it. And I'm just watching it. And I think my last thought was, oh, yes, it is. And next thing I remember, I was inside the craft. And that is also very sketchy. My clearest memory of this, and I would love to know what this is. Nobody I have ever heard tell their story saw this thing. And I don't think it's any big deal. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. But I've always wanted to know, what is that? So I'm laying on this table. And again, I look off to my left and kind of like this way at the wall. And there is it's a rectangle. And it was blue. And it almost looked like that vinyl that you cover, like diner seats with. It was just like not a powder blue, not a dark blue, just kind of like a medium shade of blue. And I remember looking at that thing and going, why is it on the wall? I'm like, is it covering up a window? Is there a window under there? What's its purpose? And that's really the last thing I clearly remember on the ship. I think, now here's the thing. I vaguely have a memory of things up on the ceiling, but I do question, do I have that memory because so many other people have talked about that memory? Is that truly mine or what? That rectangle is definitely mine. And then I lose I lose the memory again, but then it picks up. Now, my biggest concern was my mom was the biggest worrier ever. And she was strict. Now, I always got home at 4 o'clock, like practically on the dot every day from school. So I was right, I mean, right around the corner from home. I was so close. And I was worried that I was going to be late. My mother would be upset. And back in my day, it was called grounded. I would be grounded forever. I couldn't go, see my friends or anything for quite some time. So that was my big concern, having to deal with my mom. So after whatever happened was over, I'm leaving. And the weirdest thing is, for some reason, I always had this image of me coming down the steps of the craft. But I know that's not true because I know that's not how they got me up there. It's like I don't know if I can explain that. But anyways, how they do it. There was no stops or anything, but I remember leaving and I had uh such a sense of familiar how do you say that? Familiarity with these beings, humanoids, whatever you want to call it. It was like I knew them. I was comfortable enough with them. I was very shy and quiet. I mean, I barely said a word. I was afraid to talk to people, etc. But with them, like I was very angry with them. And as I'm leaving, I turned around and I looked at them. And I think I was looking at one in particular, but I cannot grasp the memory of what this person looked like. I was really, and I said, "How could you do this to me?" I I think I said, "Don't you ever do it again." But I said, "How could you do this to me? I'm gonna be late getting home. You guys know my mother." Why I said you guys know. You guys know my mother is very strict. I'm gonna be in so much trouble when I get home. And then I left. I see this, and oh, it was during the day. My encounter is not like other people's. I mean, it is, but one, it was during the day, and two, I remember turning around and yelling at them, giving them a piece of my mind. So, anyways, they let me out in the same place that I was when they picked me up. I walked the rest of the way home. I was like, oh my God, I'm going to be in so much trouble. You know how you think when you're a teenager and you're like, oh my God, they're going to kill me, etc. So as you walked in the door of the house we lived in at the time, you could see the clock right away. It was on the wall. We had clocks on the wall, and the phone was on the wall underneath it. Um, so you walk in the door, and then there's two steps up in the kitchen, and then steps going down the basement. So when you turn to go into the kitchen, the clock is right on the wall there. And I looked up at the clock. It said 4 o'clock, and I was shocked. I'm like, how did they do that? I couldn't believe it. And my mom didn't notice a thing. She didn't say anything. I didn't talk about it. I can't remember how long. Well, I put it out of my head for a while. I maybe about 10 years ago is when I started talking about it. Now, here's the thing. I never wanted this to happen again. Now, even though I know about her, I decided maybe if I take a different way home from the bus stop, and if I stop, my cousin worked at the car dealership right next to where the school bus stop was. So I thought, okay, I'm going to make this not happen again. By, first of all, I get off the bus and I'll go to the car dealership and I'll visit Carly, my cousin. And then when I leave there, I will take the another way home, which is like twice as long. So I started just taking the other way home, and it wasn't twice as long because I don't remember my mom ever saying, "Why are you getting home later?" So I don't know. But I took the other way around, which really didn't make sense. And I did that until, my friends and I started driving, and, we would give each other rides to school and back. But yeah, it was a very strange experience. The support group that I belong to, the experiencers support group, a lot of them go to these hypnotists. I don't know how they find them. And the reason I contacted this place was because I wanted something like that, but instead they referred me to the support group. I've asked several times. We just don't have any in this area. I don't think, well, an online one, I suppose I could do if I can ever like arrange it where I'm by myself, uh, quiet at home. I don't know. But anyways, I'm going to leave you with that. Blessed be, and make it a joyful one.
No